Hello all, welcome back to my YouTube channel all about VLSI. In this video, we are going to see some example related to our sequence and sequencer and driver communication. So in our previous video, we have just seen the theory part of that. So in this particular video, let us try to understand it with some coding. So let me first of all declare the libraries related to that. So take import UVM underscore package and tick include UVM underscore macros dot svh. So this is one more library file I am adding. So let me declare the sequence item class, sequence underscore item, which is extending from UVM underscore sequence underscore item. It's a parameterized class, so it is expecting one argument of sequence underscore, so which is extending from UVM underscore sequence underscore item. Now let me register it. So tick UVM underscore object underscore utils sequence underscore item. Now let me declare the new function new string name is equal to sequence underscore item and super dot new of name end function. And this is my sequence item class, and inside the sequence item class let me declare two variables. One is rand int data. Okay, let me declare only one variable, which is rand int data. Now and followed by end class. So this is my sequence item class. Now let me declare the sequencer class. So class sequencer, which is extending from UVM underscore sequencer, which is also a parameterized class, and it is expecting one argument. Let me register it UVM underscore and let me copy this new function. String name is equal to sequencer and UVM underscore component parent. So this is my sequencer class and followed by end function and end class. Now let me declare the driver class, class driver, which is extending from UVM underscore driver, and it is also a parameterized class, which is expecting a argument of sequence underscore item. Now let me register this class UVM underscore component underscore utils driver. So I'm declaring this, and within a new function, let me pass it. So the class name is driver. Yes. So I've declared this new function, and let me pass this super dot new of name comma parent, and here also it is super dot name comma parent and followed by end function. Now let me declare a task which is known as drive task, and let me declare a task which is my run phase, run underscore phase. It is expecting UVM phase as argument phase, and within a forever begin block. So sequence underscore item underscore port. So sequence underscore item underscore port, it's a TLM port, and it has already, so the instance of this has already been declared by default. So just we are using it, sequence underscore item underscore port. So what we are doing here, using this port, we are calling the method which is known as get underscore next underscore item. So that's the method which we are calling, and we are passing REQ as the argument. Okay. So this we are passing, and after some time, let's say after 50 time units, we are calling another method which is known as sequence underscore item underscore port, sequence underscore item underscore port dot item underscore done. So when we are calling this item underscore done, the method which is present in wait underscore item wait underscore for underscore item underscore done, which is in the sequence class, that will be unblocked. So whenever we are calling this method from the driver, that particular method which is present in the sequence class will be unblocked. So let me declare one display statement here. Take UVM underscore info get underscore type underscore name. So after item underscore done called, and let's keep the verbosity as UVM underscore. Let's keep the verbosity as UVM underscore low, and followed by end and end task, and followed by end class. Now, so this is my driver class. Now let me declare the sequence class. So how to declare my sequence class sequence underscore ex, which is extending from UVM underscore sequence, and the parameterized, it's also a parameterized class which is expecting one argument of sequence underscore item. So let me declare it first. Let me register this class. Take UVM underscore object underscore utils sequence underscore ex. So this is a object, so I'm using I'm registering it now. So first of all, let me declare the handle of my sequence underscore item req. So let me declare this, and within a new function new string name is equal to sequence underscore ex. This is my name, and followed by UVM underscore component. And since it is an object, it has no parent class. So since it is a component, it has no second argument, and followed by super dot new of name, and followed by end function. Now, so let us declare a task which is the task name is body. Now this body task will be called from our test class. So when in our test class we will call the start method. So the start method will call this particular body task which is present in the sequence. Now this body task is responsible for all the randomizing the data and sending the data to the driver, everything. Okay. So within this task body, first of all, let me what we are going to do is we are going to call a method which is known as wait underscore for underscore grant. So this method will ask for the permission from the sequencer. So if we got a grant from the sequencer, then what we are going to do is we are going to randomize the data. So how we are going to randomize the data? Assert req dot randomize. So we are calling the randomize method. So the data items will be randomized. So the data items will be randomized. Now how to send the data to the driver via the now how to send the data to the sequencer? So we are going to use a method which is known as send underscore request, and what we are going to do, we are going to send this req. Okay. So if you don't know what are all these methods, please revisit the previous lecture where we have declared all these methods, where we have discussed all these methods, so it will be easy to understand. Okay. And let us write down one more print statement. Take UVM underscore info get underscore type underscore name before wait underscore item underscore done, and the verbosity is UVM underscore low. Now let us call the wait underscore item underscore wait underscore for underscore item underscore done method. So this particular method will be unblocked after when the driver has called this particular item underscore done, or else this method will not be unblocked, and followed by end task and end class. So this is my sequence class. Now let me declare my agent class agent, which is extending from UVM agent, and let me register this class also. So take UVM underscore component underscore utils agent function new string name is equal to agent and UVM component parent super dot new of name comma parent, end function. So this is my agent class, and inside this agent class, let me declare the handles for my sequencer and driver. So sequencer is EQRH and driver DRVH. So this is my sequencer and this is my driver class handles which I have declared here. Now let me create the instance of this two class handles. How to create the instance of this two class handles? So within a build phase, function void build phase UVM underscore phase. So how I am going to build sequencer handle sequencer type ID create seq rh comma this. seq rh comma this, and I will create the driver handle also drvh driver type id create drvh comma this. So I have created my driver and sequencer class handles, class instances I have created, followed by end function. So in the build phase I have created this. Now in the connect phase, let me connect the sequencer with driver. How to connect this? So function void connect underscore phase UVM underscore phase. So here I should pass the super dot build underscore phase. Let me pass it. Yeah, and in the connect phase also let me start this super dot connect underscore phase. And how to connect this sequencer and driver? So sequencer handle dot sequence underscore item underscore port dot connect drvh. So how to connect this sequencer and driver? Driver handle dot sequence underscore item underscore port dot connect. So sequencer will have a port handle and so the driver will have a port handle and the sequencer will have a export handle. So driver dot sequence underscore item underscore port dot connect sequencer dot sequence underscore item underscore export. So I've connected them and followed by end function and end class. Now let me declare the environment class, environment, which is extending from UVM underscore environment. So let me register it, tick UVM underscore component underscore utils environment. And let me declare the new function new string name, which is equal to environment and UVM underscore component parent. So I've declared them and super dot new of name comma parent and followed by end function. And within the build phase, so first of all let me declare the agent class handle agent agnt. This is my agent class handle, and within the build phase of my agent, function void build phase UVM underscore phase super dot build underscore phase of phase. What I'm going to do, I'm going to build the agent instance. How to create the agent instance? Agent type id create agnt comma this. So I've created my agent instance. Now after creating my agent instance, I'm going to write down end function and end class. End function and end class. Now let me declare my test class test, which is extending from my UVM underscore test, and this test class let me register it UVM underscore component underscore utils test. And let me declare the environment instance let me declare the environment class handle envh, and let me declare the sequence class in handle also, sequence underscore ex seqh. Now, so within a new function new string name is equal to test UVM component parent, and super dot new of name and parent, and followed by end function. And in my sequence class within the build phase, I should have a build. So in the body task only, when I'm calling this wait underscore for grant method, so let me first of all create the instance of my req. Req is equal to sequence underscore item type id create req comma this. So I've created the instance of this req. Next, let me also add one display statement here, UVM underscore info get type name base sequence inside body method. So I will call this particular method, and followed by UVM underscore low is the verbosity level which I am using. So in the body task of my sequence, I have written this, and inside my test class, yeah, and inside my test class of build phase of my test class, function void build underscore phase, what I'm using UVM underscore phase, and super dot build underscore phase. What I'm doing, I'm creating my environment instance, environment type id create envh comma this, and also I'm creating my sequence instance squ underscore ex type id create seqh comma this, and followed by end function. So this is my build phase. Now, so inside the run phase of my test class, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the start method. So task run underscore phase UVM underscore phase. So super dot run underscore phase sequence handle dot start of, I should provide the path where the sequencer is present. So environment dot agent dot sequence handle sequencer. Okay, so what is the sequencer handle which I have declared inside my agent? Let me check it out. So it is SCQRH. SCQRH is my sequencer handle, followed by end task. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the objections and drop the objections. So raise underscore objection of this, and drop underscore objection of this. So this is my run phase of my test, and let me write down the end class. So within a module which is known as tb initial begin, let me call the run underscore test, and I will include this test class name, which is nothing but test. And module. Let me save this and run this. Let's see what we are getting. So this is not a macro, it's a keyword import. So it is sequence underscore item. This is SCQUENC underscore EX, and here no need of this. And this is phase dot raise underscore objection, and this is phase, and this is phase dot drop underscore objection. Let me save this and run this. Yes, so this is our output. So what we are getting, base sequence inside base method before wait underscore item underscore done. After driver calling the item underscore done, so run phase has been started and the driver and sequence start gets communicated. So driver and sequence will start communicating. So this is how we are going to establish the connection between our sequence, sequencer and driver. Yes. So that's all about this video. So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel all about VLSI. Thank you.